Hey, I turn around and we're live. Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. And it is, what day is it? It's August 19th. Holy moly. So what does that mean? That means, well, we're nearing the end of the month of August. And I'll tell you what, I don't know where in the world you are, but it is hot out here in Las Vegas and humid. So I know a lot of us on the West Coast are experiencing this crazy heat. So what I'm looking forward to as we end August and move into hopefully a cooler September. So, because it's just hot to a miserable level. Anyway, I digress. Today we have another really helpful topic for you if you are using LinkedIn in particular to reach out to new people, to reach out to existing contacts, because today we're going to be sharing with you some very specific strategies, showing you some very specific examples of the kinds of messages that we use to connect, nurture, and set appointments with contacts that we connect with on LinkedIn. Before I get into the training, I want to introduce Ronan Rahaman, my partner and co-host, and there he is.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Excellent, thank you.
I like that better.
Good to see you again.
So messaging magic. I love it because this is what we've been building the last 2 days and getting yourself, sort of cleaned up and ready to go out. And now it's time to go out and start messaging to people. So I think it's going to be a great lesson for everybody on how to do it, how we do it, and we are live. So make sure that you leave comments. Here's a little reminder for you. Questions, whatever's going on for you, just leave it in the comments, and even if you're watching the recording, we'll circle back and answer those things. And
Perfect.
We'll let you do it.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so messaging. I'm going to jump right into my slides today because the content that I want to cover with you is pretty much all driven by my slides. So there we go. Thanks, Ronan. So connecting and messaging. And I'll also add, I should add to this screen appointment setting, because we're going to show you a little bit about that as well. All right, so the first kind of message that you typically send out to somebody is a request to connect on LinkedIn. So you found somebody that you want to connect with. We're going to be showing you tomorrow ways that you can find people to connect with. And then you send them a message to connect. It's a best practice to actually send a message to someone, not just hit connect and then leave it alone. And it's so simple. I'll show you how simple it is. One overriding sort of rule of thumb here is to make your messages, even your simple connection message, all about the other person. You want to honor them. You don't want to necessarily jump right out and start selling yourself or talking about what you do and everything that's of interest to you. It's a turnoff. So, think about it like when you meet somebody at a networking event. Ronan and I were just at a networking event last night, and I met a couple of new people. And, our approach to that is ask questions, right? Ask them about what they do, how long they've been doing it, what they like about it. The usual thing. This is not a networking lesson, but make it about the other person and take an interest in them. And so that even at the connection request level, you can do this very simply and effectively. And so here's what that looks like. So our client, Joe Canamore, here's his very simple connection request message. It says, Simon, hope you are doing well. Let's connect here on LinkedIn. Joe. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. And the reason for that is twofold. One, when in this case, Simon receives this connection request from Joe, Joe's headline is already attached to that message. So Simon sees that. And if you were on our training on Monday of this week, or even yesterday when we went over the 3-point power profile, you know about the headline area of LinkedIn. And that headline speaks very specifically to the people you are making a connection request to if you've followed our training and you're doing this the way that we teach. And so when Simon receives Joe's message, Simon already knows whether or not Joe is someone he wants to accept that connection request from. So Joe doesn't have to go into any detail about what he does. He's already done that. in a very well-crafted headline that Simon sees right within the message. And so a couple of other things I want to point out about this very simple, straightforward connection request messages. We've used Simon's name in the message, and we've used the word you in the message. And that inherently makes it about the other person, right? Because we're using their name and we're using the word you. So anytime you use their name or the word you, you are, it's a simple strategy, a simple technique, if you will, to inherently make your messaging about the other person. So you don't have to get any more complicated than that. And that's all I really have to say about a connection request message. And you can repeat this over and over and over again for anybody that you want to connect with, especially if you've done your job on your profile and your headline especially. All right, next I'm going to show you some nurturing, the way we nurture a new relationship. So the first thing we do once someone accepts our connection request is either that same day or the next day or whenever we're logged back into LinkedIn, we just thank them. So here's Ronan thanking a new connection. John, hi, John, thanks for connecting. I hope all is well with you and business is good at Allegiance. There's that word you again. There's the first name again. And in this time, we add in the name of the company that John works for. So there's three, subtle ways, if you will, that this very simple thank you is making it about the other person, right? We're not selling ourselves here. We're not asking for anything yet. We're just starting a new relationship. Okay. Very similar to how you might start a relationship anywhere else. Okay. All right. So then what we like to do, one of the strategies that we use, and this is can be very effective, is we will use what we call third-party relevant content relevant to the other person, making it still all about the other person. And what that means is we go and we'll use Google or a news service of some kind, and we will search for an article that was written that might be of interest or value, the content of that article, to the other person. So in this particular case, Ronan was campaigning for people in the IT solution space. And so he found this, I think it's a blog post actually on this website called business2community.com that he thought John might be interested in. So he puts a very, very short, 2-sentence summary, if you will, of why he's sending the article and what's in it that might be of interest to John, and then asks John a question. So now we're starting the part of the relationship where we're going to ask for something in return, which is simply an answer to a question, right? So it's a small commitment on John's part. So John, have you experienced what this article is describing, and what's your strategy for going after those technology dollars? So it's a personal question. Sometimes they'll answer the question, sometimes they won't. In this particular case, John does answer the question. And in addition to that, he also says, hey, why don't we jump on a call, get to know each other a little bit better? This is even before Ronan overtly asked for an appointment. So this doesn't always happen this smoothly, but it does happen, especially if you've followed this particular strategy and really kind of nurtured and warmed up these relationships. Someone who wants to network and connect will oftentimes do this. So that is a specific example of how that strategy can be effective. Now, if they don't overtly say, hey, here's my contact information, let's jump on a call together, you can and should ask for an appointment, right? And so the way we do that is very simple. Here's an example from another client of ours. I'll read it to you. Hema, it's great being connected. I would like to find out more about you and your work at Optum. If you have any time, I'd love to have a quick 15-minute chat. You can message me back or click on my link to schedule a time, what works for you. And so this is, again, we're using that word you, we're using the person's name, we're using the person's company name. We're asking for a small commitment of a 15-minute quick chat. We're telling them why we'd like to have the conversation to learn more about them and their work at Optum. And we're giving them kind of two options here to schedule with us. One is our calendar link. In this case, Mark uses Calendly. There's other tools out there. Ronan and I use one called Acuity Scheduler, or just simply asking, hey, what would be a good time to chat? And especially if you've sent them a few nurturing messages using maybe that third-party curated content example that I shared with you just a moment ago, they see all that in the thread when they open this. So they'll be looking at all your messages, and even if they haven't responded to anything yet, they're going to go, oh, this person's been pretty cool. They seem to be friendly and approachable. Sure, I'll have a quick call with them. Or they may respond with a question. Probably one of the most popular questions that we get in response to this kind of a message for an appointment request, especially for somebody who is a bit more discerning or hesitant, I guess, to have an appointment with someone they just met, if you will, especially met through LinkedIn, is, what's the nature or the real purpose of having a conversation? And so an approach that, and I probably should put a slide up here for that we oftentimes will use in response to that is to simply say, from time to time, I find that actually having a real in-person or over the phone conversation with the people that I meet through LinkedIn can blossom into a really positive relationship. And we never know unless we actually get on the phone together. So that's really the purpose of my call. And they'll either respond to that and say, cool, sounds good. Or they might say, hey, I'm not interested. And don't worry about that. Just keep the point is keep doing this repeatedly and you will get results. One of the things that I will say is that, if you do this 3 or 4 times, I wouldn't expect much in the way of results. If you do this 20, 30, 50, 100 times a week, you will get results. And so that's really what it comes to. I just want to give you some strategies that make you appear professional, nice, not so annoying, and really separate you from all the noise that's out there. We've all received these like sales pitches, right from the get-go from people that we've recently connected with on LinkedIn, and it turns most people off. So we usually, we don't recommend doing that. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about messaging, give you some, hopefully some thought-provoking ideas here that you can implement in your own appointment setting efforts. I'm going to come back to my screen, and there we are. And hi, Ronan.
Hi. Yeah, that was perfect. The thing I always emphasize, if you've watched the show before, is that if you were networking live, you wouldn't run up to somebody, hand them your business card, and say, "Hey, let's set up a time to talk." For coffee. Like there's a process of getting related to people, and even understanding if this is a person you should be talking to.
Right.
So I could think you can overlay the 3D in-person model into the digital world where a lot of the networking is happening right now. And it's the same customs, the same etiquette. You don't want to ram yourself down somebody's throat. You don't like it in person. Why would you like it digitally? So
I mean, case in point, like last night, I met 2 people. I met 2 people at the networking event. It was a small networking event. I got their business cards. We had short conversations at the event. So today I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to send them both my signature little video follow-up message. But that's a whole nother strategy that we talk about in our deep dive program. But and just I know at least one of these people could be a good referral source for me, and the other person is just a nice person in the community who does business, and she happens to do business in the healthcare and legal space. So I don't, we don't know if that'll go anywhere. But if you're interested in taking that deep dive with us and learning about how we use video as a messaging tool, among a whole bunch of other things, go and sign up at guaranteedappointmentslive.com. There's no fee for signing up there. It's just putting you on our list, and we'll send you the details for our upcoming event.
Excellent. Which is not too far away. So definitely do that SAP so that we can squeeze you in. And it's going to be great. It's the best way for you to learn in a deeper way what we do and how we make it happen, and then go out and do it and get the results. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to show you how to hone in on what crowd you want to talk to, what tribe you want to reach through Sales Navigator. So we'll do that tomorrow. And with that, I think it's time to say goodbye.
At least for today. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and get over that hump for the week.
Right. Jump over the hump.
Jump over the hump.
See you later.